All right, everybody, what is going on? Welcome back to another episode of the Stocks and Sandals podcast. Happy Sunday. I hope everybody's, grilling out and cooking some hamburgers and hot dogs. It's football season, baby. It's back in action. We had some good college matchups already. I think we got to wait a little bit longer for the NFL to start up. I do believe on Thursday. I don't know if are you doing any well, first of all, let me go ahead and introduce everybody. If you don't already know, this is Crypto Kenny. He is the man, the myth, and the legend. Very top analyst within the crypto world. Be sure to give him a follow on Twitter. Good Vibes Trading. Kenny, welcome to the show. It's good to have you, brother. It's good to see you since Chicago and all that kind of good stuff. So how you been, man?
I'm good, man. I'm happy to be here, man. You guys rock. I saw your last podcast, and it was good. I was like, damn, I can't wait till they call me. And the minute I got the call, I was excited. I was like, you know what, this is gonna be great. Again, we met up in Chicago. It's been great, man. It's been great. Everything's going
awesome.
Good.
Yeah, and where you're all the way over in California, aren't you?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Been out here for about 3 years. Born and raised in New York City. Lived a few years in Florida. Came out here and
everywhere.
I love the weather out here.
You just got to avoid fires, I think.
Yeah. Oh, dude. The day my son was born, we got a call from the neighbors that across the street there was like a little brush fire and they were evacuating. So first time experiencing, first time I had my boy, it was just crazy day that day, man.
Oh man, that's crazy. That's kind of scary.
Yeah.
Welcome to Earth. There's fire. Well, it's good to have you on, man. It's not very often that we talk about the crypto world, so I'm very much looking forward to discussing a few things with you. I'm pretty much a crypto noob myself, so anytime that I talk to you, I'm always learning something different and new about what's going on in the crypto world. But yeah, before we kind of get into all that, let's kind of do a rundown from last week. Another third week just down the drain, just really red. And, market continues to be pretty volatile. We're dealing with a very hawkish Fed. We know that the Fed is not going to let up until the job is done. They keep repeating that. And they even said that, we're going to go through some pain and, we're just going to have to roll with the punches. And, there's plenty of things out there that are showing a little bit more strength than others. But for the most part, everything's pretty much following that same path of least resistance, which happens to be lower. And, names that have like poor fundamentals, they're getting hit a little bit harder than some of the better names out there. So that is something to pay attention. Maybe dig into some of those fundamentals. Go read the books and see how they're holding up. If they have any cash on hand to kind of weather some of these
That's exactly what I've been telling my guys, and I'm like, right now it's a rough market, man. It's a rough market to trade in. Period. You want to kind of wait till we get real clear direction for either you're gonna play your puts or your longs or vice versa and calls and shorts. It's a tough market right now, man. But best thing, like you said, to do is to sit on your hands. You don't always have to trade every day, right? You can kind of weather the storm, see what's going on, and then decide to make the right move, of course.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we definitely preach that, learn what works for you and your setup, and then just go off of that. You don't have to, trade every single day. I mean, a lot of the times it's better to just wait. The market is always going to be here.
Exactly.
And there's a saying that, most money is made when you're not doing anything. So, and like you said, it's been rough out there. I mean, even hedge funds, they're getting hit. Big money's taking a hit just as much as retail names are out there. I mean, it's not just the little guys, the big guys out there.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And we even see it with crypto too. I mean, I saw a report, 3 Arrows collapsing on their crypto and people are getting margin called left and right. It's kind of crazy right there in the crypto world.
I mean, you see this, and that's what I like that we're touching up on both, right? Because sometimes you hear the stock guys like, "Oh man, your crypto is doing bad." I'm like, dude, but I'm looking at stocks too, and they're not doing too great, So it's good to compare, see how similar they are, right? Like, if you have your days where SPY's taking its hit, you're gonna see Bitcoin kind of correlate with what's going on. So it's amazing to see how they kind of coincide and share pretty much likenesses. Even the charts kind of look a little similar as well, right? Crypto's a little more volatile, but you can still see where the breaks and everything goes. So it's amazing, man. It's amazing how crazy this thing is right now.
Right. It affects everybody, And I was looking at the chart of Bitcoin earlier, and I'm just waiting for that thing to just plummet just a little bit more. 18.5 is what I got there, and
I see 18.5. I see, I think 1760. If we dump 1760, brother, I think the next one that I had was almost 1412-ish.
I got 12. I'm right there. I think even we had paper on last week, and he even said he might not even touch it unless it comes all the way down to 6. Yeah, that sounds kind of
God, don't even say that.
Super low.
The crazy thing about the market is this, right? Like, whether Bitcoin decides to take a plummet, right, and go down to the levels of even 2K and maybe play in between 2, 5, 7K, you're still going to have traders. You're still going to have guys like me and you that are still going to trade it, right? Because our point is to build our portfolio, not to necessarily want to hold Bitcoin, especially when it's coming down like this. So
that's
what we do, right? We're still going to figure out trades on it. If it, bounces in between support and resistance, we'll catch the longs, we'll catch the calls, and we'll play the shorts, and that's it, man. That's all it's about. So
absolutely, and you can go short on Bitcoin and Ethereum and all that, right?
Yes, dude, which is one of my biggest trades was Luna. So when Luna, I think the news was it that the owner was going through something. I'm not big on news. I read charts, right? But when I see everybody pointing something out, they're like, "Hey, Luna, what's going on with Luna?" I set up my chart correctly. I think it was like on a bear flag. Dude, came down 2,000 percenters in one day. Never did that in my life. Well, that day,
let's see. Like me and you, we're both technical traders. We look at the chart, we'll read it, and we'll put our levels on there and just play patterns that pop up. And it's a lot of fun to do it. It's a lot of learning to go with it. But once you find what works for you, and once you start developing that pattern recognition. You're very well on your way. It takes some time and practice. You got to put in the work, and a lot of people
got to put in the work, man. Got to put in the work. Hours. That's what some people don't understand. They think that what we do is easy, and it's not, man. It comes with hours, days of back testing, countless days and nights of sleeping 2-3 hours because you're just up and you're trying to master your craft. And it's a lot of work, man. It's a lot of work. But again, we're here, right? This is what we love to do. I mean, I have such a passion for this that I'm gonna keep doing it, man. God willing,
Yeah, you can definitely hear it. You got a lot of heart for the game, and and you're right. There are days where I want to pull my hair out. Kenny, you've done pulled all your hair out already. So I mean,
Dude, this is for my last call, bro. I was like, no, come on. And then it performed. I was like, oh man.
That's good. For those that are joining in on live, Kenny used to have this nice little hair going. Now he's rocking the bald look. It looks good. Hey, look, if I could pull it off, I'd do it. But
I love to every now and then, man. Just try different looks, man. I've had long hair, braids.
Oh no! God!
Younger days, young, back in the days. Man.
Oh man! All right. So while we're talking about, I read this interesting thing about Bitcoin and Ethereum, and Ethereum's a little bit nicer looking than Bitcoin. It's been performing a little bit better than Bitcoin. Maybe from a liquidity point too. I know they're both very liquid, and you have no problems getting in and out of a trade there. But are we experiencing what they're calling the flippening, where Ethereum is taking over Bitcoin? And is that possible?
It's possible. It's possible, dude. I think I've been saying this since I started crypto or even looking at crypto about 2 years ago. Ethereum has always been that safer coin. It's always been that safer coin. They were still getting a lot of good contracts when they first came out. When I was looking at it again 2 years ago, anytime anybody would ask me, "Hey Kenny, what coin should I invest in?" Dude, go to Ethereum. It's a lot safer. Leave Bitcoin for the guys that like that crazy volatility, right? But I think they were coming out with something. What was it? Ethereum 2.0 at that time. They keep getting good news, man. They keep getting a lot of contracts their way. So again, I think everybody leans towards it because of that, because it's just a lot safer. And You know what? I say anything is possible, Fuzz.
There you
When
go.
I say that, right? Like anything is possible. Anything is possible. So as much as Bitcoin is that leader right now, I wouldn't be surprised in another year or two if Ethereum continues to do what it does. It can even surpass it one day, right? Bitcoin could stay at 20K and 12K, and all of a sudden Ethereum just starts creeping up, you know? So it's anything is possible, man. Anything.
Absolutely. Yeah. We always plan for three things. We either go up, down, or sideways. And, you know, you got to have a plan for each scenario, you know, especially if you get in a trade and, you know, cut your losers quick and, you know, yeah, just roll with what the market gives you. That's for sure. But yeah, welcome everybody who is joining us. Joe Slifka, thanks for shouting out. Kenny, what's happening, brother? And Fuzz, what's going on? Man, just living the dream and working away and, you know, keeping you guys entertained, hopefully. And then Amar, what a sexy man. Kenny is my guy.
That's my guy. That's my brother right there. I love that guy, man. That's my guy.
That's awesome. So yeah, we got some pretty interesting stuff in the markets right now. It's very volatile. It's very tricky to navigate within the waters, so to speak. And you know, the Fed remains hawkish. They're not going to pivot by any means. And you know, we just got to pick our points to battle with, and we don't want to fight the trend. Don't fight the Fed. You know, we've said it all the time. You know, we didn't fight the Fed coming up. Don't fight the Fed coming down. They're doing their quantitative tightening, reducing their balance sheets. And yeah, last week we saw a lot of selling pressure. And, you know, I've been looking at some charts, you know, on the weekly and monthly timeframes, and there's a lot of busted out stuff there. And I've seen comparisons on Twitter comparing now to 2008. And, you know, we can get into all that. But, you know, from a viewpoint, you know, yeah, if you take the TTM squeeze, which is one of the things that I use indicator wise, you know, if you look at the monthly histogram, it is actually turned at negative. And one of those 2008 comparison is, in fact, the histogram on the TTM has actually turned negative. So, you know, I think a few times in the past few sessions, you know, we've kind of said, okay, well, I think the bottom is in, and now I'm just kind of starting to question that. You know, I'm saying, we know September's a crappy month historically.
That's another thing that I'm scared of too. I was going to mention that Red September, man. We all know it. I knew it in stocks and options very well. You know, my first year, I think trading options, I was in like maybe my first month was October. No, I think it was August. September, you know, I did amazing in August. September came. I was like, I'm sorry. I was like, what is going on, right? Like I've never seen, you know, first time you come into trading, you think everything goes up, right? You're like, oh, all right, it's gonna keep going up eventually. When I saw Red September come around, brother, and really destroyed my port, especially me being new, I'm like, all right, no, this is the bottom right here.
Right.
We just break support, break another support, demand zone, just keep going down. So it's coming.
Yeah. and I think the crazy thing too, you know, we had I checked the CME futures and they're predicting another 75 basis point rate hike for September, which is coming up in a few weeks. So we're definitely got to keep an eye on that. But you know, we're still getting good, somewhat decent jobs reports, which is pretty much giving the Fed the green light to keep doing what they're doing. And you know, I think the only thing that I noticed differently was that the unemployment rate actually went up. So you know, I think, you know, we see the news. You know, big names, big companies are laying off. Even Snapchat, you know, they're laying off 20% of their companies or their employees. So, you know, there's a lot of headwinds and prices are still high. We're still dealing with inflation. You know, my brother-in-law, you know, he's getting a new job because his job didn't want to pay him to, you know, stay on his feet, you know, basically to, you know, buy the groceries. You know, groceries are still expensive. It's still hard out there, you know?
It's still rough, man. And that's what, you know, again, you know, everybody thinks that, you know, the market should be up right now, and it should, right? Like, nobody thought we were going to break this, you know, lows on Bitcoin at 30, right? Once it broke, I mean, look what happened, right? It came all the way to 18. It was nasty, one of the nastiest drops I've ever seen in my life. It's hard to navigate, man. It's hard to deal with this kind of market with so much bad news. You have, of course, like you said, inflation. We have Corona spikes, new outbreaks. Like, it's just continuation of bad news. So technically the move, and it has been since November of last year, is to be a bear, to catch these tops, try to play these shorts, or I forgot how you say, puts, right? An option.
Yeah.
It's best to play the downside, because we really haven't had any clear direction. Yes, we keep holding, even on Bitcoin, we keep finding levels where we're holding, but it's, we thought we were never going to break 30K, right?
Right.
Now, right?
Yeah, look where we're at now. I mean,
20 is the next one. They keep saying, 20 and 18. Okay, well then what's next after that, right? It's like one of those bag holding situations where it's like, all right, as it keeps going down, I'm going to keep, holding it to a fine support. And it's like, you don't know where this is going to go, right? Either we can bounce next week on 20 and start picking up from there, especially if SPY starts, correlating with it as well, or we keep getting bad news and having to play the downside. It's not always fun, but
absolutely,
you gotta do what you gotta do, right?
Yep. And what's good about, we like to look after each other and, play things, to the best of our ability. And, if you need help, to develop your plan and your strategies, feel free to reach out to us on social media, on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, even TikTok. We have a guy named Chris who's just absolutely crushing it on TikTok. So shout out to him. And yeah, just come and check us out, stockdads.com/plans. And, we'll get you hooked up. We even get a personal mentor to help get you on your feet. And we've helped over 2,000 dads to really get themselves straight and really, build and develop the generational wealth that we've been trying to instill within people. So yeah, it takes work, but you know what? It's worth it. Even if you put in a year, you know what? You are that much better.
This is one of those things This is one of those things I tell my students is what you put in, and especially when it comes to, life in general, but especially this, for some reason, like I've really seen it in trading where it comes to what you put in is what you get, right? If you, do this halfway, you're going to get, not so good results. But when you really put your grind into trading, you develop your schedule, you develop your strategy, you really, take this serious, man. I've seen some amazing things. I've been able to, thank God, knock on wood, been able to get better and better as I go, just because, I'm seeing that the more work I put into this, the better I get, man. So
yeah. And Vu here, he said he paid for a whole year subscription just in one trade, and Vu kills it. I mean, he works a day job, and he works a day trade, and he'll pop in for like 20 minutes, maybe on like a break or something. He'll slap on a trade, and he'll be done for the day. He's good, and we want to show people, that you can develop these things even in a bad market. Even in a bad market, we're absolutely crushing it. So. Yeah, it is what it is. And, we want that for everybody, not just for ourselves. We want that for everybody. And we want you to, utilize, anything that we have to offer, but at the same time, build and grow yourself, so no one knows you more than you know you. So.
Absolutely. Yeah. I agree 100%. Study yourselves as traders. I tell these guys all the time, like, find out who you are. If you're an impatient guy, I don't think you want to look for swing trading, right? Like, if you're a patient guy, then that's the trades you want to look for. You know what I mean? So you got to study yourself when it comes to trading, man. It's not only just charts, right? Like they say, it's not only just lines and charts, and anybody could do it, right? It plays a lot of different ways. Psychology plays a huge aspect, I always say, into trading. Have good mental health, good attitude, you make good trades.
Absolutely. Yeah. All right, so let's see. Now moving on, let's kind of move on a little bit here. I do want to, kind of look forward to next week. We still got we have a few Fed speakers, including Powell next week. So hooray that.
We write that one down. What day is that one again?
Thursday.
Yeah, stay away from trading Thursday. Right?
Yeah. Yeah, and we always say, these Fed guys, it used to not be that way. They'll come out and they'll talk, but it used to not to be such a major point. But nowadays, everybody's waiting for that one little difference or hint at what they're going to do. Who's kind of like descending, I guess, from everybody else. You know, it's absolutely wild. And then we also have the Europe. Wow. Let's try that again. European.
I was like, European.
European Central Bank. There you go. Lagarde. She's going to be speaking, and they have their interest rate announcement as well as their monetary policy, and that's going to be a big deal. And you know, I definitely want you to stay focused and kind of keep an eye on the Germany's market, which is the DAX. Yeah. And you know, we pay attention to Germany's market because it is the biggest economy in Europe. It is, you know, that can have tremendous effects, and we know that they're having all the energy crisis problems in the world right now. You know, with Russia, the Nord Stream 1, they're shutting down Nord Stream 1, which, you know, Russia basically came out and was like, oh, we found an oil leak. And they shut it down. They did. You know, that's my best Russian accent. Yeah, they did. They were talking smack to him, and then Russia was just like, oh, yeah, we found a leak. No more gas.
No more. That's it.
So, yeah, it's kind of crazy the way things work, you know, and, you know, the yen, the Japanese yen continues to fall, and it's at the lowest point since like 1998. So, yeah.
It's I'm telling you, man, we don't really have much going for us to really kind of bounce back, right, and get into that bull mode again. It's
right,
just bad news after bad news.
It is. It's just bad news, and it comes with the trend too. You know, so I put dollar cost average. If you have 100 shares, sell cover calls, get into some spreads. There's, you know, that's the beauty about options. I mean, you have options upon options about options.
So many different ways, yeah, you can play it. Absolutely.
Yeah, and I know you've dabbled in options yourself, and you've actually nailed some really good trades. I've seen your feed there. So yeah, I mean, even the crypto guys can definitely benefit from everything that you learn from crypto and just bring it over to stocks. And same thing with stocks.
And I was gonna say, believe it or not, I learned first options and stocks, brought that over to crypto. Saw that there wasn't, you know, that many differences, just a few little tweaks here and there. But now, again, you know, just for the year and a half that I've charted, you know, in crypto, it's gotten me that much better. So I brought it over back to options. Oh man, we're making some pretty decent calls.
Yeah, I remember, like, I started in the penny game when I first got in, and you know penny stocks they lure you in for sure, and you know you can make good off of penny stocks, and you know I know plenty of people that kill it on penny, and I know plenty of people who lost it on pennies, but you know, transition from pennies.
One of the beautiful things about trading is that, like we said earlier, you can hit it so many ways. There's so many different things. You know, we don't have to even like options of crypto, right? You can jump into forex, same charting, right? You still almost get the same charting. So, you know, to each his own. Literally, there's so many different ways you could dive into this, man. That's the beauty about trading.
Yeah, absolutely. There's more than one way. All right. So, also, if you are joining us, thank you for joining us live. If you're listening in, thanks for listening in and downloading. You know, we are holding a competition on, let's see, it's called Market Draft, and you get a 10,000 paper trading accounts. You pick X amount of stocks with X amount of dollars out of that 10,000. And, you know, that's a good way to maybe make some picks for the upcoming week. I know it's a short week. You know, we only get, you know, tomorrow's Labor Day, so we're off on Monday. And the futures will open up tomorrow evening. So we'll kind of
like Labor Day,
yeah, Labor Day.
Right, that's right.
But yeah, definitely check that out, marketdraft.com, and definitely check that out for us with us, and you know, join. You can actually win some pretty good cash there. I think we're giving away 400 in total. First prize gets 200, and then the other two is split between the rest. So that'll be a nice little fun, friendly competition. And I think we actually interested some teachers, and they are heading to Market Draft to maybe set something up for their students to learn about the markets. So I think that's a pretty awesome thing to, you know, really, you know, educators and teachers. I think this is a good, you know, economy teachers and all that. Definitely look into that. You know, there's definitely several platforms to paper trade with your students. So it's always cool to see that.
Dude, I always say that to my students, the younger ones especially. I'm like, dude, I wish my school would have gave me classes on trading, right? I would have picked this up ages ago. Would have been so far ahead. That's what I love about these younger crowd now is that they're diving into it early, man. They want to learn how to do this fast. You got some guys almost 18, 19 already dumping into it. That's great, man. So
yeah, I've seen some kids that just absolutely kill it, and they're like, God. But I know the state of Georgia, they just they've introduced financial literacy as part of the curriculum now. So I think that's a wonderful thing that they're finally pushing. I know a few other states that have been doing the same. So I think that's awesome, because I didn't have that growing up. I pretty much had to learn what I can by my own.
Right.
My dad taught me a few things here and there, but a lot of it was grunt work. So
right. Put in that work, man. Keep saying it. Put in that work, guys.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. So for next week, what are you most excited about? Are you looking at anything in particular? Any tickers? Or what's your favorite thing to trade right now in crypto world?
Right now, I always got my eye on Bitcoin. Always have my eye on Bitcoin. I've been telling a few guys about a few spot trades, like about Link, I think is one of them. Matic is another. I love Matic. I've always wanted to dive into Matic. But again, I want to wait for Bitcoin to really see. To me, when Bitcoin makes the big move, whether, again, we're going sideways, right? So right now, we're not really doing much. We can either keep going down or finally break and go up. So I'm trying to wait for that next big move, right? If we go down, I think I'm going to load up on a lot of these spots. And one of them has always been Matic. It's always been one of my favorites. So I'm definitely going to load up on that. ETC is looking really nice lately, making some really breakout trades. Beautiful moves on the chart, 4 hours especially. So have a few in mind.
There you go. I hear you. Yeah, I'm kind of in the same boat there. I'm mainly watching SPY and using that as my main proxy. I'll have my watch list or the daily watch list on a few things to keep an eye on for the specific day. But I'm mainly watching the SPY. I'm watching the ES futures and the NASDAQ futures and really gauging everything on a day-to-day basis. But if SPY ain't rocking it, then nothing's going to be rocking it.
That's the thing. That's same thing with us in crypto, man. For those that don't know, Bitcoin is that SPY. If you're ever coming over to crypto world, think of Bitcoin as SPY. It's your main guy, right? Like if Bitcoin has a nasty drop, and no matter how good your TA is, right, you can have it drawn out to the T. But if Bitcoin drops, it's gonna derail your TA. It's gonna bring everything down. So it's that coin that you just have to keep your eye on at all times.
Yeah.
And then still trade these altcoins, man, and still make some good gains.
Yeah, and I was kind of looking at is there any safe havens right now, and it's really hard to see. I was looking at a few staples. I was even looking at names like McDonald's or something weird like that people usually kind of go to, but not all the time. But those names are kind of beat up too, and oil's been taking a hit. So energy has kind of calmed down a little bit, although I do think it will have its time to run again, especially with everything with Nord Stream and all that.
Have you looked at NE? What is it? Dude, is it me or is it still kind of? I think it broke off. What was it the other day? I was looking at it last week, and it's on my watch list. And for some reason, it's been like the top runner on my watch list for a little while. I haven't made any moves. I'm like, dude, it got to come down one day, right?
Yeah, definitely check that out. Ticker symbol NEE. That is Nextra Energy. As long as it holds for me like that 84, 83.50, I think you're good. You got a little bit of a gap down there below 83.50, but other than that, if you compare that structure to a lot of things out there, that's actually looking pretty. I still kind of have a favor. I'm looking at Oxy. I think that weekly chart still looks pretty good. Trend looks good. Warren Buffett is heavily invested in Oxy. So, I think energy and oil, even ZOM, their weekly chart looks fantastic. So
I just looked at Oxy's weekly. My goodness.
Yeah, definitely zoom out. Check out those weekly charts as opposed to maybe some of those dailies, and you'll get a little bit of a better feel on how they're holding up in comparison, if they're outperforming or underperforming the S&P. So, I think that's definitely a good way to view things. And if it looks like crap, it's probably crap. And look for a way to get short. So yeah, looks like a put, smells like a put, it's probably a put. Yeah, and that's what we say. Trade safe, be smart. Any last words? Any departing words for us, Kenny?
Just that, guys, man. It's we're in a scary place right now, right? The market's pretty shaky. Play it safe. Again, like we said earlier, you don't have to trade every day. Sitting on your hands, believe it or not, from experience, from 4 or 5 years that I have, like sitting on your hands sometimes isn't a bad thing. I've been able to avoid some nasty days, man, where it's like, oh man, I sat on my hands today because I felt like it, and all of a sudden the market, everybody's going long. I was looking at charts, thinking about going long. I said no, and then drop, right? So you can avoid some big headaches sometimes. Again, you don't have to trade every day. Just play it safe, guys. Play it safe always.
Absolutely, I agree. And Kenny, I appreciate you joining us this week. It's always a pleasure.
Much.
It's always good to see you, man.
Likewise,
and yeah, definitely give us a check out, stockdives.com/plans. Good vibes there with Crypto Kenny there. Give him a follow on Twitter and all that good stuff. But yeah, here's to the next week ahead. It should be an interesting one with ECB Lagarde and Fed speakers and all that kind of good stuff. But yeah, we'll take it one day at a time and keep it rocking and rolling. That's for sure.
That's it, brother. Thank you again for having me, man. Appreciate you always.
You bet, man. All right, guys. Have a great holiday. And thank you for listening and downloading. And we will see you guys next week. Peace.
Henny.